The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps and a lion to frighten wolves. But here's what Machiavelli never told you. In the modern world, the traps aren't in the forest. They're in your emotions. And the wolves? They're the people who know exactly which buttons to push. You think your anger is yours, your sadness, your fear? But what if I told you that every emotional reaction you have is a string, and someone else is holding the other end? They don't even have to be cruel. They just have to know where you bleed. Your mother knows which words make you feel like a child again. Your boss knows exactly how to make you desperate for approval. That friend who always has drama, they've mapped your rescue instinct like a general maps a battlefield. But here's where it gets dark. You're not just being manipulated, you're participating. Every time you react predictably, you're teaching them exactly how to control you. You're writing the manual for your own exploitation. Think about it. When someone says, "I'm disappointed in you," why does your chest tighten? When they go silent, why do you fill the space with apologies? When they play victim, why do you become the villain in your own story just to make them feel better? Machiavelli understood something we've forgotten. Men are so simple and so ready to obey present necessities. Your necessities aren't food or shelter anymore. They're approval, connection, the desperate need to not be seen as the bad guy. And that need? That's your trap. Every emotional trigger you have is a door you left unlocked. And people don't even need to be master manipulators to walk through it. They just need to notice the pattern. Push button A, get reaction B. It's not personal, it's just power. The executive who loses it when someone questions their competence, controlled. The people pleaser who can't say no, controlled. The perfectionist who crumbles at criticism, controlled. You're not responding, you're performing, and everyone's watching the show. What I'm about to tell you might make you angry. The people who trigger you the most, they're usually the ones who love you. Because love is observation, and observation is data. And data, in the wrong hands, or even the unconscious hands, becomes leverage. Your partner knows your father wound. Your children know your guilt buttons. Your siblings know which childhood stories still make you defensive. They're not evil, they're human, and humans use what works. But before I reveal how to break this cycle, you need to understand why you built these triggers in the first place. You were 5 years old. Someone's anger meant danger, so you learned to read the room like your life depended on it. You were 10. Someone's disappointment meant abandonment, so you learned to perform happiness even when you were breaking. You were 15. Someone's silence meant you'd done something unforgivable, so you learned to fill every gap with words, apologies, explanations. These weren't character flaws, they were survival strategies. But here's what nobody tells you. The war is over, and you're still fighting. The danger passed, but the alarm system never turned off. And now those old programs are running your life. Someone raises their voice and you're 5 again. Someone withdraws affection and you're 10 again. Someone gives you the silent treatment and you're 15 again. Time doesn't exist in trauma. Every trigger collapses past into present. Machiavelli wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. But what if you don't even know what you really are anymore? What if you've been performing so long, you've forgotten there's a person under all that armor?" This next part, most people can't handle it. Your emotional triggers aren't just controlling you, they're advertising your weaknesses. Every overreaction is a billboard. This is how to hurt me. This is how to control me. This is how to make me dance. The person who explodes at disrespect, they're broadcasting their insecurity. The one who freezes at conflict, they're announcing their fear. The one who needs to be liked by everyone, they're screaming their abandonment wound. You're not just triggered, you're transparent. But here's the shift Machiavelli would make if he were alive today. It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. But in modern life, it's better to be unreadable than either. The person who doesn't react predictably can't be controlled predictably. Watch the powerful closely. Not the loud ones, the quiet ones. They don't explode when challenged. They pause. They don't chase when someone withdraws, they wait. They don't defend when accused, they observe. Their emotions are information, not instructions. They've learned what you're about to learn. Every trigger is a teacher. When you feel that familiar rage rising, pause. Ask, who taught me this was dangerous? When anxiety floods your system, pause. Ask, what am I really afraid will happen? When guilt makes you betray yourself, pause. Ask, whose voice is this really? Because here's the secret, the person triggering you isn't pulling your strings. They're showing you where the strings are attached. They're not your enemy, they're your mirror. But wait, before you start thinking this is about becoming emotionless, understand this. The goal isn't to feel nothing, it's to choose your responses instead of being chosen by them. The lion and the fox Machiavelli spoke of, they're both you. The lion is your boundary, the fox is you. But here's the thing Machiavelli understood that we've forgotten. Sometimes being triggered is tactical. Sometimes showing emotion is strategy. The difference is choice. When you choose to show hurt, anger, or vulnerability, it's a tool. When it chooses you, you're the tool. Think about the last time someone really got under your skin. What did you do? Did you explode and give them the satisfaction? Did you shut down and give them the power? Did you chase them and give them the control? Every predictable response is a victory for them and a defeat for you. But what if next time you did something unexpected? What if when they criticized you to hurt, you said, "You might be right, I'll think about that"? What if when they withdrew to punish, you got genuinely busy with your own life? What if when they pushed your insecurity button, you laughed and said, "Yeah, I'm working on that"? You don't flinch. You don't explain, you redirect. That's only half the story though. The real mastery isn't in becoming untriggerable. It's in becoming strategically triggerable. Like Machiavelli's prince who shows mercy, not from weakness, but from calculation. You show emotions not from reaction, but from choice. Tears can be weapons. Anger can be boundaries. Silence can be statements, but only when you're driving, not when you're driven. The person who masters their triggers doesn't become a sociopath. They become a sovereign. They feel everything but aren't ruled by anything. They have emotions, but aren't had by them. There's one thing Machiavelli never told you. The ultimate power isn't in controlling others through their triggers. It's in becoming so aware of your own that no one can control you through them. It's not about becoming feared or loved. It's about becoming free. Free from the invisible strings, free from the ancient programs, free from the puppet show of reaction and counter-reaction that most people call life. But freedom has a price, and that price is awareness. You have to see the strings to cut them. You have to feel the triggers to heal them. You have to know the game to stop playing it. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Every interaction becomes transparent. Every emotional manipulation becomes visible. Every trigger becomes a teacher. You'll see the strings everywhere. In your family, your workplace, your relationships, in politics, in media, in everyday conversation. But here's what nobody tells you about this awareness. It's lonely at first. When you stop playing the trigger game, some people won't know how to relate to you. When you don't react predictably, they'll call you cold. When you don't take the bait, they'll up the ante. When you don't dance to their music, they'll change the song or find a different partner. Let them. Because here's the final truth. The people who need your triggers to relate to you don't know how to love you. They only know how to play you, and you deserve better than being someone's in. Try this tomorrow and watch what happens. When someone pushes your biggest button, pause, breathe, say, "I need a moment to think about that," then actually think. Not about how to defend or attack, but about why that button exists, who installed it, whether you still need it. That pause, that's your declaration of independence. That breath, that's you choosing who you want to be. That moment, that's you taking back your power. Because power isn't loud, it's the person everyone watches when no one's speaking. It's not aggressive. It's the calm in the center of everyone else's storm. It's not controlling others. It's being uncontrollable yourself. Machiavelli said, "Men are so simple and so ready to obey present necessities. But you're not simple anymore. You see the game. You know the triggers. You understand the dance. The question is, Are you ready to stop dancing to everyone else's music and start composing your own? The nice person gets triggered into giving, the angry person gets triggered into fighting, the scared person gets triggered into running, but the aware person, they get to choose. And choice, real choice, not reactive programming, that's the kind of power no one can take from you. You've been armed with fire. You've been shown the strings. You've been given the keys to your own cage. What you do with them is up to you. But remember, in a world full of people controlled by their triggers, the person who controls their own responses doesn't just survive, they rule. Not through fear, not through love, but through something far more powerful, freedom from the need for either. The game was always there. Now you can choose how to play. But if Machiavelli showed you the game of triggers and power, Jung will show you why those triggers exist in the first place, why you have the exact wounds you have, why certain people can destroy you with a glance, while others can't touch you. And that truth, that's even darker than manipulation, because it's not about them at all. It's about the parts of yourself you've buried so deep, you forgot they were there. The shadow that uses your triggers to remind you it exists. But that's a revelation for next time. If this hit you, comment, "I see the strings now." Because once you see them, everything changes, and you can never go back to sleep.